Greetings, YouTube. Quick, grab the can of Raid. We have ants. Specifically, we have a giant Carpenter ant, and this is from the Tapir company, T-A-P-I-R. I had to do a little research in that regard, because there, other than saying made in China here on the abdomen, there is no markings on this figure at all, and it's missing an antenna, but I picked it up at a flea market for $1, so a little battle damage is something I fully expected to see. But it's really quite an awesome figure. However, the detailing is quite nice. It looks like a Carpenter ant. I like the fact that the mandibles aren't exactly even. I like that gives it a nice organic appearance. The antennae that we have is really quite attractive. The feet look like ant feet. I've seen ant feet under both in person and of course under a microscope. Electron microscopes are excellent for kind of getting incredible details from insects. The abdomen is not solid. You could press, it's very thick, but it actually does give slightly, so it actually is hollow. The thorax is nicely detailed. I like this hump. That detail is nice. It looks just like a Carpenter ant. The figure is in a low position, like it's crouching, because you could not actually have a figure of this size with these proportions supported by these legs, because there's a reason that ants aren't this size in the real world, because their legs could not support that kind of weight, even this kind of weight. Which is kind of like why the giant ant from Ant-Man was a little on the silly side. Though, if you increase things in the Ant-Man universe, does the density go down, which then means that ant would weigh as much as it did originally, which means a small child could throw it across the room with like a pinky. That's fascinating. Oh, well, whatever. Regardless, this is an awesome figure. I think that it would be an excellent addition to anyone's collection, and I think it is an excellent addition to anyone who does miniatures for things like science fiction, post-apocalyptic environments, or fantasy, of course. Now, this is a 25mm figure, so obviously you're going to see that this is a major opponent for a 25mm figure. Now, it isn't just that you could have giant ants in your world. You could shrink the PCs down until they are this size. So, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, except in your setting. And I've done that myself in a game where I had the characters walking down a long corridor. Unbeknownst to them, the corridor was smaller and smaller as they went until they walked out the door at the end into a greenhouse, and they were all this big. They eventually did figure out what was going on and make their way back. But for a little while there, they thought they were in a giant terrarium with giant insects and creatures. It made me smile. As far as the sculpting's excellent on this. The painting is good. I like the little highlight in there. It doesn't have any real dry brushing on here. The detailing isn't excessive, but for a $5 figure, which is what this thing is going for online, I think it's a solid buy. I really do. So if you like ants and you enjoy a good static toy figure, I think that you could do a whole lot worse than this giant Carpenter ant figure.